Elizabeth Maloney was born in England on February 12, 1950. She was born to Zosia and Bernard Karpinski, who were originally from Poland. In 1940, Zosia Adamovich was taken from her family by gunpoint to work on a farm for the Nazis that was located next to a concentration camp. She was just 17 years old. At that time, Bernard Karpinski was fighting with the 1st Armored Division of the Polish Army against Germany. After the war, Zosia and Bernard met in Germany and fell in love. They had their first child, Johnny, and then moved to a displaced persons camp in Kelvin, England, around 1950, where their daughters Teresa and Elizabeth were born. The camp was a mostly Polish community, where people who had been put in concentration camps or who had fought against the Nazis went seeking refuge after the war. Elizabeth describes a time when she lived in the displacement camp as the best time of her life. The families there lived in barracks, and chickens could be seen roaming freely, as well as small children looking to catch mice in the field or play with the animals around the camp. The fish and chips man came on Friday, and the ice man came because they didn't have refrigerators in the barracks. They ate pierogies, stuffed cabbage, and potato pancakes. Elizabeth attended Silver End Primary School in Braintree, England, where there was a school cook and tea time every day, and she also went to Polish dance lessons with her siblings. In 1959, after waiting 10 years for a visa, Elizabeth and her family took the Titanic route to America on the SS Italia. From the time that she had arrived, Elizabeth saw America through a different lens because she maintained her own standards for what a society should be like after her time in England. She says that when she first got to America, she thought that it looked like a dump. She was 10 years old when they moved into their apartment on Leverett Street in the Polish Triangle in the West End of Boston. She explains that her childhood in Boston was a better time. The Museum of Science was 25 cents, movies were 10 cents, and there was a neighborhood garden where the children could plant flowers. There was a pizza guy, crab guy, pickle guy, rag man, and ice man that came to the neighborhood. In 1960, Elizabeth shook JFK's hand in Quincy Market the day before he was voted for president. She remembers crossing over the bridge to Dorchester when he was assassinated in 1963. In 1965, she saw the Beatles, Bob Dylan, and Betty David in concert. She said that she and her friends went nuts over them. In 1968, during the Boston busing crisis, she saw white students painting black students white and sticking them out the windows of schools. When MLK was assassinated in 1968, she saw people rioting in front of her school and slashing tires with knives. That day, her black friends helped her get out of the school and get home safely. She remembers being bullied by black students in school and was forced to do Donna Summer's homework for her. Though Elizabeth felt that America's neutral stance at the beginning of World War II was wrong, she felt differently about Vietnam. She felt as if men were dying over there without a cause, especially because her friend Chester fled to Canada when the Vietnam draft law was passed, and 15 of her friends, including 2 of her boyfriends, died in Vietnam. She was opposed to the war and explained that the U.S. poisoned their own men with Agent Orange. When she graduated from high school, she was told that she was not college material, as were the majority of other girls in her class, and she went to work immediately. She got married when she was 18 or 19 and said that if you didn't get married at that age, you were out on the shelf. Elizabeth explains that women don't know how good they have it now. She was fired from one of her first jobs for taking more than a few days for maternity leave, and felt extremely angered at how women were treated in America during her early adulthood. She would later go to UMass for accounting and history and began working in payroll. She started a family in Quincy, Massachusetts, and had 4 daughters, Paula and Carolyn with her first husband, and Caitlin and Jillian with her second husband. She loves to cook, go to the beach, garden, and spend time with her children and grandchildren today. She still works in payroll in Boston, but makes plenty of time to travel and live every day to the fullest. She makes people happy wherever she goes and carries her values with her.